Okay, we are recording. This is our weekly team package meeting where we talk about upcoming deliverables, blockers, and anything else that as a team, as a product and engineering team that we need to be aware of. So I'm going to share my screen now. And I have up the agenda for today, June 4th. John, I think you had the first item.
Thanks, Tim. Yep, I just wanted to welcome Nick Kipling, who is not in attendance today, is our first front-end engineer to the package team. So welcome, Nick. And then my next point is Nick isn't at this meeting because it's 8 o'clock for him. So I was wondering if we should move this up in the day or if we could adjust things. I'm sure there's other time zones to consider, but if we could adjust that possibly so that Nick can attend. I don't want to ask him to attend at 8 o'clock. And then I know some folks do like an APAC meeting, but I'm not sure if that's, with our smaller team size, not sure if it's beneficial. So I just wanted to bring that up for debate. Thanks so much.
What's the APAC meeting?
Asia Pacific.
Yeah, thank you. Wow, that was like right on the tip of my tongue. Thank you, Daniel.
Asynchronous?
Yeah, I was thinking asynchronous process and change for some reason. I don't know why.
That's not right.
No, that's not right at all.
In this context.
Yep, way off. Been in an engineering mindset all day.
If we moved it up to 9 a.m. or it would allow us to, it would be like 5 o'clock his time then? Or, yeah, 5 o'clock his time. I think we could accommodate him, but if we need to change it in the future to be asynchronous, I'm okay with that as well. Okay, I'll move. I'll find a time that works and make sure it aligns with everyone's schedule.
Yeah, you might want to do the weekly retro as well. While we're at it.
Yeah, let me add them.
Cool.
Cool. Thanks. So next up, just to go quickly through 12.0, I think there's only one thing that we have to talk about here, which is this issue assigned to Jason of updating the permissions for the container registry API. Is any blockers or concerns about launching this one?
Yeah, that one's probably going to slip. We talked about that in our release meeting this week, I guess this morning. This is, he said he hasn't started on it yet.
Okay.
So he's been kind of swamped with feature flag work. So this is, as we go into 12.1, I'm maintaining the priorities as the same. So like, this is the next thing that he'll work on. Before the other things that he's got for 12.1. So it's just gonna slip. I'm not sure how big of a task it is. I don't know that he's dug into it enough to say if it's, a day or a week kind of a thing.
Okay. He's not the one that would work on the Conan integration, right? Looking at 12.1, this is...
Right. That's, Kraz is gonna work on that.
Okay.
And I do think that's a pretty big one. I put a comment in there on that issue about like the first step is just defining the API. And that is an investigation itself. So depending on what that turns up, like once that is done, I think the implementation will be fairly straightforward, most likely. But we just don't even have an idea of what the API looks like yet.
Okay. Okay, yeah, let me know if I can help. I know we've been going back and forth in the issue with the users a little bit on what metadata they would like to track and see. And so it seems like there's good conversation happening there. I just want to make sure we keep having it and I'm okay if there's delays, but I just want to make sure we're talking about them and communicating them.
Okay, yep.
Jumping back to 12.0, this feature is being worked on by the delivery team. This is a part of the process to add storage tracking and optimization for package features they're working on first because some of the cost related to the container registry. So this is in progress and I believe on time.
Steve, that's probably a good one for you to keep track of as well, as far as updating for metrics that we're going to be looking at later. So you might want to just sort of add a watch on that and go check what those MRs look like as you get a little bit of time to look around.
Cool, thanks.
Yeah, and I could send you the epic. I'll Slack you the epic for this as well. It has a lot of details in there. This one is in progress. Is actually one of our support engineers took an interest in contributing to our NPM project, and so she's been working on this NPM template with me. I have a meeting later with her today to review the work that she's done. Daniel, you're in that meeting as well, I think, just so I can get someone who actually has NPM up and running to offer feedback. But I think we can hopefully get this done and merge for 12.0. And selfishly, I would just announce that this has been merged, the Maven template. So this is my first contribution to the community edition. Got approved. Thank you. I'm officially a contributor. So
Nice.
Feels good, even if it was a very tiny change. I'm proud to have it in there.
Speech.
And the authentication, this is in progress. I have to sync with Dimitri and see if this is going out in 12.0 or 12.1. I'll reach out to him and check. The next item on the agenda was to just go a quick review of 12.1, just to thank you everyone for adding the deliverable tags and assigning them appropriately. That was super helpful, and I was able to update the kickoff document for our meeting on Monday. So we have Conan. We mentioned this being maybe a little bit bigger. We're following up on that. Steve, this is your first official issue, the publish NPM package from subgroup and project. Not sure if you had a chance to look at it yet, or if you had any questions or concerns.
I've read through it, and then I've started to peek through the project to see, where all that code lives and start to digest how everything works.
Okay. Yeah, let me know. I know I just want to make sure the issue is clear, and if you have any questions, I'm happy to dive in or clarify something in the issue as well.
Sure.
Next is a front-end issue. The Docker registry date not accurate, so this is picked up by Nick. Seems straightforward, no concerns.
Yeah, none so far, but if we run into anything, we'll let you know.
This is another Dimitri tag. We have him for 12.1. He's still working on the dependency proxy, so he'll be setting it to enable it by default for a group. They'll still be limited to users that are using Puma, not Unicorn, but at least it'll be enabled for those users by default. This issue is being worked on by the secure team. It's a front-end change. Actually, no, this one's being worked on by Nick. Sorry, wrong one. So this is changing the error page for if you have special characters. And this is the first step in addressing this issue. And next release, we'll address it with a JavaScript error during those key moments. I mentioned documentation. There's some inconsistency that was pointed out by one of our customers. And Axel is going to work on this for 12.1 and clarifying that. This is the issue that's being worked on by the security team. So adding in a modal for when you delete an image or a tag. It looks like this is all slated for 12.1 and no problems that I know of. And then this last issue, I don't see anyone assigned to it, but I think this is supposed to be assigned to Steve.
Yep.
Okay, should I do that now?
Yeah, that's fine.
There you are. And it has a deliverable tag. Okay, cool. All right, that was it for the review. I think that'll make sense. Then any questions or anything else worth talking about on the upcoming milestones?
Yeah, I think just want to be 100% clear with everyone and Steve is just to set some expectations that we know these are your first issues. There's a lot to learn, and that'll take however long it takes. So, if you have any questions, you need support or whatever, then just know that everyone's here to help if you need help.
Cool. I was kind of curious if I wanted to reach out to any other like back-end engineers to like just ask questions about how things work, or if I'm not necessarily following various parts of the projects. Is there a good group or, developer in particular that would be worth, or even Slack channel that's worth reaching out on?
Yeah, you've got Jason, who should be your first point of call because he's your sort of onboarding buddy. If Jason's not available, the back-end channel is something you're already in, because I tried to add you to that twice, so I know you're in there for sure. That might be worth asking. And then depending on which area of the code base, there's the sort of domain expert for that area that we can make sure you're in touch with. Darby, did you have other thoughts?
Nothing comes to mind right now. I think there is a Slack channel called Questions, which is like pretty active, and people tend to jump in there pretty quick. So like setup questions or things like that. There's also like a development channel, but I haven't watched that one in a while, so I'm not sure how active that one is.
Development channel's active, but it's full of like this thing got done, merged MRs. It's more like stuff, and it's pretty noisy.
Okay, yeah, that's probably not a good one then.
Yeah.
I mean, you could probably, if you're not in the G release channel, you could jump in that one too, and that'll get out to. There's a pretty decent group in there. And at least like some of the other backend engineers from release can help with things too.
Okay.
I'll add you to that now.
Cool. Yeah, that gives me plenty of avenues when I start running into anything.
Cool.
That's great. The next item we have, I think, Daniel, did you end this monthly or other cadence for the larger team?
Yeah, I guess I'd sort of briefly mentioned this to Darby, but I was thinking about the idea of having a sort of a broader meeting with QA and UX front end, and obviously yourself. Something I'd like to do is just sort of make sure we're all in sync. We could do this around the releases, the monthly releases. But my main reasoning for that is, but at least the intent is that, to have the team sort of be in regular communication as necessary, just because we're not going to always have people in these meetings. People can't necessarily attend every single one. So having a conversation somewhat regularly about where we're going and what's going on might be helpful. I think the reason I'm personally interested is because I'm interested to see what QA is thinking about and what UX is thinking about, whether we have a person who's actually assigned to our team or not. We won't always have someone in all of the rest of the regular meetings. So I'm happy to give it a shot or not if people don't think it'll be helpful.
What do you guys think? Are you, John or Darby, are you guys doing something like that for release?
Yeah, we have the on release and verify. The meetings, our weekly meetings, include everybody that's involved. There's at least one UX person there, typically, and then yeah.
So maybe it's just making sure, because right now we have engineering. We have Valerie added to this meeting. But it sounds like we're just missing QA. So we need to figure out who our QA engineer is and then add them to this meeting.
And I don't think for a release we have one.
Okay.
Because everything is perfect.
Yeah, there's no reason to QA.
There are no regressions.
Yeah, I think that was implied. You don't really need to say it.
Shouldn't have said that, Darby.
We're gonna have to delete this video.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll see if I could track down if we have someone for QA, and if at least we can have a solid answer on if that's the case or not.
Yeah, it might be it might just be someone who like oversees the whole CI/CD, but.
Okay.
And I said I was thinking monthly or bi-weekly or bi-monthly, I should say, not bi-weekly, depending on how you look at it. Just because I know that a lot of these people, like John, for example, has a lot of teams that he's supporting. And then if he's in meetings for each of those teams once a week, then it's just going to be a lot of overload. So I'm like just trying to be thoughtful about when that would be useful more than some particular, regular cadence.
Personally, I like the idea of having this weekly meeting, even though sometimes it sounds like we're repeating stuff. But I do like the idea of having some cadence where everyone sort of has the opportunity to give a demo and talk about what they're working on and what they're excited about. Maybe there's like a monthly retro or a post-release retro where we could talk about that stuff, because I'm anxious to hear about that from you guys and from our eventual UX and QA team as well. Maybe that's how we can incorporate something like that.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let's have a think about it. We have a sort of an async retro process that we have for engineering already.
Okay.
And I think, let me have a think about what it is that I'm trying to achieve, whether a retro sort of meets that need. Cool.
Okay.
The next thing.
So next two items are Darby.
Yeah, so I just wanted to call out, this is a change in the release process. I think everyone probably got emails about this, but just making sure to like kind of over communicate this. The deploys to GitLab.com are starting, I guess, like this week, next week, pretty soon. They're just going to start happening on a weekly basis. And there's like, this doc describes the flow. And essentially like what's going to happen is we're going to do more continuous deployment to .com. And then we're still going to basically cut a release around the 20th for a release on the 22nd. So this is kind of a change to the process. Like the feature freeze date on the 7th is going to go away. So we won't have quite the mad rush to merge everything by the 7th that we have had. So this is good to read through. There's two issues. One is this one that describes the process, and the other one is a bit more about the implementation and then like some frequently asked questions. So be sure to read through these. They're worth taking 10 minutes to go over. And if you have questions, you can ask me. I might not know the answer, but I can probably point you in the right direction if I don't.
Okay, that's really helpful. I'll read through these. All right, anything else on our agenda? No?
Nope.
Welcome, Nick, from far away, and we'll change the timing of these meetings so we can hopefully all attend next time. All right, thanks everyone. Talk to you later.
Thank you.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Thank you.